Valve just announced the new Steam Frame, their standalone VR headset that may just succeed where Apple failed. Here's how. In 2023, Apple announced the Apple Vision Pro and introduced it as the future of mixed and virtual reality. Apple highlighted features like immersive media playback, advanced multitasking, and a new approach to spatial computing, all powered by high-end Apple hardware. However, when the Vision Pro launched later that year, it did not meet expectations. The price was extremely high, and it lacked compelling features to justify the price. Furthermore, it didn't appeal to gamers, the group that makes up the majority of VR usage. Furthermore, the Vision Pro was heavy and uncomfortable, which made the long use sessions Apple envisioned difficult. One iteration later, and despite fixing some of the initial problems, the Vision Pro still hasn't gained widespread popularity. Valve, however, has been on a different trajectory when entering new markets. The Steam Deck is a good example. With its Linux-based portable console, the company has helped push handheld PC gaming into the mainstream and inspired a whole wave of competing devices, such as the Lenovo Legion Go and the Asus ROG Ally. Now, Valve might be attempting something similar with its newly announced headset. The Steam Frame was announced on November 12, 2025, and according to Valve, it is a streaming-first PC VR and non-VR gaming headset. It is a standalone, ARM-powered VR headset that runs SteamOS like the Steam Deck. This means that it can run games and other software natively. Because of this, it can target many of the same use cases Apple tried to hit with the Vision Pro. Despite surface similarities, there are three major reasons why the Steam Frame might have an advantage over the Vision Pro. Valve directly acknowledges that gaming is the main use case for VR, and is not trying to change that. Steam Frame supports PC VR titles, non-VR Steam games, and even Android applications. This gives it a huge amount of content from day one, and a large appeal to people wanting to get into the VR gaming space. Apple, on the other hand, avoided positioning the Vision Pro as a gaming device. Even though it had powerful hardware, it lacked compelling games to motivate the majority of VR enthusiasts to buy it. However, gaming is not the only reason the Steam Frame might outclass the Vision Pro when it comes to usability. Like the Steam Deck and the newly announced Steam Machine, Valve has stated that the Steam Frame is a PC. It runs SteamOS, which is Arch Linux based and runs KDE Plasma. This potentially means that users can run a majority of Linux applications, customize the system, and use it for more than just gaming. In fact, Valve has stated such on their website. Furthermore, these applications would run natively on the frame, something the Vision Pro is not capable of. Despite being packed with the same powerful hardware as Apple's top-of-the-line MacBooks and iPads, the Vision Pro is incapable of running any of the powerful applications a user may want to on it, instead needing to rely on a separate computer to stream the applications to the headset. You would think that with how powerful the Vision Pro was, you could simply emulate a MacBook, connect up to a mouse and keyboard, and use the Vision Pro standalone. This, however, is not the case, with users needing to shell out an additional several $1,000s for a Mac computer to run with the Vision Pro. If the Steam Frame can be used in this manner, it would be a compelling reason for people to purchase the headset, on top of the vast gaming catalog that Valve has enabled the headset to run. But how will the frame run applications natively? Valve has previously had success with developing compatibility layers for Linux gaming. Proton was their first major investment and built off an existing compatibility layer, Wine, to provide a near seamless gaming experience under Linux. FEX is their next major investment. It is an open source tool that allows x86 based applications to run on ARM64 hardware. It has already been successfully used in Asahi Linux, which brings Linux to Apple Silicon. On the Steam Frame, FEX could allow many traditional PC games and desktop applications originally built for x86 to work on ARM. If successful, Valve's investment in this tool could further work to bring ARM-based computers into the spotlight of Linux gaming. This would give the Steam Frame a huge software library compared to the typical ARM device. There are some areas where the Vision Pro still has an edge, however. Apple does have an advantage in raw hardware power. The Vision Pro's screens are higher quality, and its chipset is significantly more powerful. Apple still leads in display resolution, brightness, and image clarity. However, this could actually be a potential advantage for the Steam frame. The Vision Pro's high-end components require an external battery and result in a heavier headset. This affects comfort, which is something very important to most VR users. The Steam frame uses more efficient hardware, allowing Valve to put the battery inside the headset and keep the weight down. This could allow for increased comfort, battery life, and usability. There's another advantage the less powerful hardware could provide as well. Pricing played a huge part in the Vision Pro's struggles. Its base price at launch was $34.99, which put it out of reach for most consumers. When you pair this with the previous point that I brought up, which is that you had to actually own an already expensive MacBook to use the Vision Pro in any serious manner, that put the price of the Vision Pro seriously out of budget for most people that would be interested in something like it. Valve has unfortunately not announced pricing for the Steam frame yet, but if they position it competitively, somewhere near the Meta Quest pricing at $499, the frame could attract a much larger audience than the Vision Pro did. Even a higher price like $799 or $899 would still be dramatically cheaper than the Vision Pro while offering more flexibility and a stronger content library. If Valve manages to hit a reasonable price point, the Steam frame could easily become an appealing option for anyone looking to enter VR or upgrade from older headsets.